Hello and welcome back to another episode. Well, not another episode. I'm starting a new series of Diary of a Wimpy Kid, Big Shot. It is a very new release, just weeks ago now. Warning, you should probably read the previous books before this. But anyway, let's get into it. Diary of a Wimpy Kid, Big Shot by Jeff Kinney. To Will and Grant. Okay, this. I've heard that athletes are born with special genes that make them good at sports. Well, whatever those genes are, I guess I was born without them. Mom's always saying that everyone who's part of a team has an important role to play. But when it comes to sports, it seems like my job is to make everyone else look good. Like getting hit in the face by a volleyball. At this point in my life, I'm pretty sure I'm not going to grow up to become a professional athlete, so I'm officially announcing my retirement. I've never read this book before, so this is new for me and new for you. The crazy thing is, I used to actually like sports, but that was back in preschool, when sports were still fun. The first sport I ever played was soccer. Me too, actually. I didn't know the rules, but neither did any of the other kids. So most of the time, it was just pure chaos on the field. Wherever the ball went, we all chased after it. Every once in a while, the ball would pop out of the pack and go in someone's goal. Then everyone would celebrate. Nobody kept scores, so you never knew who was winning or losing. And the parents didn't care because they were too busy doing their own thing. The referees were middle school kids, and they didn't really pay attention to the game either. And by the way, middle school, if you didn't already know, is an American term for a school that's in between elementary and high school. In fact, the refs didn't even blow their whistles when the ball went out of bounds. So half the time we'd be playing on the wrong field and didn't know it. After the game, we'd always get slushies and junk food at the snack shack. And sometimes we would even wait for the game to be over to treat ourselves. Sorry for bad quality, just please keep watching. The coaches were really nice and made sure everyone got a chance to score. And that made everyone feel good about themselves. Back then, I was sure I was going to grow up to be a professional soccer player. I even kept my rookie card in mint condition in case it turned out to be worth something one day. Sell it for millions of dollars. But when we got to the kindergarten, everything changed. The refs started using their whistles, and they didn't let us do the kinds of things we got away with the year before. Tweet. That season, the refs blew their whistles almost every time I touched the ball. So when I was in the game, I'd stand in the corner of the field and pray the ball didn't roll to me. It's not like I was getting a lot of playing time in kindergarten anyway. The coach only put in the kids who were good. And the rest of us sat on the bench. Mom told me the reason the coach wasn't playing me was because I was his secret weapon, and he was saving me for a big moment. What big moment? At the final of a tournament or something? But I didn't understand that Mom was just trying to make me feel better about myself. So whenever the coach did put me in the game, I'd go out there thinking I was hot stuff. Even the snack shack wasn't that fun that year. Some parents complained that they were selling too much junk food, so they replaced the slushies and other sugary treats with healthy options. Avocados, blueberries, fruits, smoothies, granola bars, apples, you get the picture. But the slushy sales from the snack shack paid for the field upkeep. So that year, the parks department could only afford to mow the grass once every 3 weeks, which really slowed the games down. After a bunch of kids got ticks from playing soccer in the long grass, they decided to end the season early, which was totally fine with me. Youch. getting a tick pulled off of you. I feel bad that I've never been good at sports because I think Dad was hoping I'd be a star athlete. Whenever he'd go to the library, he'd always come home with a big stack of sports books. I'm sure there are kids who are into these types of stories, but that was never me. So, like The Winner, A Kid Named Champ examples on this page. If you go to the library, you'll find all sorts of books about kids who do amazing things and lead their teams to victory. But I never had any experiences like that, and I'll bet there are lots of kids out there like me. So one of these days, somebody should just write a book for the rest of us. It's not like I got any playing time. Wait. Hold on. It's not like I've got anything against sports. I like them just fine, as long as I'm not the one playing. In fact, this summer I watched the Olympics on TV pretty much non-stop. It was Mom's ideas for these to watch the games as a family. She says that these days everyone's in their own little bubbles, and sports is one of the only things that can still bring people together. But I think a little togetherness goes a long way. Mom says she loves the Olympics because they show what human beings are capable of at their best, but I like watching for the bloopers. When your pole snaps in pole vault or something. I'm just glad it's somebody else out there and not me, because I'm sure I'd be nervous if I knew there were millions of people watching from home. And when you mess up in the Olympics, you're supposed to act graceful about it. But if I just spent 4 years of my life training and then made some dumb mistake, I'm pretty sure I'd have trouble smiling for the cameras. That's why I do one of the sports where you're part of a team, because then, when you screw up, it's harder for people to tell. Mind if I squeeze in with you, fellas? 4-man bobsled. In fact, if I was in the Olympics, I'd be in one of those events where a horse is involved. Because then if something goes wrong, at least you have something to blame. Things were going great until Thunderbolt here screwed up. But now that I think about it, that's probably the reasons why some horses act out. Even though we watched a lot of Olympics coverage, I still don't understand how the thing works. For one thing, I don't see why they only hand out medals to the athletes who take the top 3 spots in a competition. It seems like, to me, like they could keep going with medals so everyone goes home with a prize. In 15th place, Greg Heffley gets an aluminum medal. The way it is right now, they'd give you a gold medal if you take first place, silver if you take second, and bronze if you take third. But I feel like there's a pretty big step down between silver and bronze. At least gold and silver are worth something. But if you won a bronze medal, you'd be lucky to get a few bucks for it. I figure the moment your medal is the most valuable is right after you win it. So if I got one, I'd try to take advantage of the TV audience and find a buyer. This dazzling medal can be yours to own. Serious offers only. Greg Heffley, first-time medalist. Sorry. During the medal ceremony, they have the top 3 athletes stand on a podium. And then they play the gold medalist national anthem and make the other 2 athletes stand there and listen. But if I took silver or bronze, I'd pop in some earbuds so I can jam to my own tunes. That's not really a good idea. One of Mom's favorite things about the Olympics is when they tell the life stories of the athletes who are competing. Some of the stories are really inspiring because a lot of these athletes had to overcome tough challenges to get where they are. But if I ever made it to the Olympics, my story would never be all that inspirational. Greg Heffley, parents made him play sports. Not a good idea, okay? If you have kids, don't tell your kids that. Please. Mom keeps telling me that one day I could be an Olympian. That's not how you say it, but whatever. and I should start my Olympic journey now. But I'm pretty sure it's already too late for me. For most sports, you have to start playing really young if you want to be any good. So even if I got serious, I'm sure I'd be competing with kids who are half my age. And by the way, I'm afraid we've run out of time. I'm sorry. But this isn't the only video today, and it's not actually going to be this same, like it's not going to be me reading Diary of a Wimpy Kid Big Shot. It's actually going to be me playing World of Tanks Blitz. But whatever. If you guys enjoyed today's video, please make sure you like and subscribe. It would mean a whole lot to me. Have the best day ever.